redcap in the face, since it was twice his height. The redcap swung his club and tried to punch Venali back, but Venali dodged out of the way and blocked the punches with his arm. Durlin moved forward slowly, his walk slow and confident. The redcap tried to hit him, but Durlin sidestepped his wild swings like the redcap was moving at a slower pace. Once right in front of the redcap, Durlin stabbed his glowing sword into the redcap's chest. It screamed and then exploded into a piercing white light. "That's definitely new," I whispered, and squeezed my legs together at the sudden rush of wetness between them. Amren, who usually fought with his sword, sheathed it and took a Venali approach, fighting the redcap hand to hand. He pummeled it to death with ease. Something was happening to them that they weren't telling me. They were all a bit angrier than before, and way more focused on powering up. It wasn't just the upcoming fight. There was a rage simmering amongst them that none of them would talk about. "It would be nice if at least one of you was honest about why you are all so angry," I whispered. "It would be nice if you told us everything going on in your head, too," Daniel said. "Touché." Mirren finished cutting up the redcap and used his black flames to destroy the bodies of the rest of the monsters. All 4 men returned to the house, walking past me. Well, that was over too quickly. Not that I was complaining that the God of Darkness was sending tests that were too easy. I preferred them to ones that left us injured. "Coming?" Raoul asked. He stood beside me with his hand extended in an offer to help me stand. I took his hand and let him pull me up. My head spun a moment, and I grabbed his arm to keep me steady. He scowled down at me. "You've been practicing magic when we're sleeping, haven't you?" I smiled innocently. "Me?" He snarled. "You're going to hurt yourself by burning the candle at both ends." "Why can't I work to become stronger, just like you guys are?" I asked, stepping away from him now that the dizzy spell was over. "I didn't say you couldn't become stronger, just that you shouldn't do it under certain conditions. 1, don't do it when we aren't with you. And 2, you shouldn't use magic when you've already spent the entire day training physically," he said. I walked into the house and headed to the bedroom where Durlin waited for me. "I'll take your advice into consideration." Durlin yanked me into the bedroom and slammed the door closed. I hopped up onto him, wrapping my legs around his waist, my arms around his neck, and kissed him. He tugged at my shirt, and I broke the kiss to remove it. He tossed me on the bed and took his own shirt off. "Now, let's see what we can do about you being able to walk properly." I smirked. "I like this challenge. Bring it on, mate." He smiled and dropped his pants, showing me just how ready he was for the challenge.
2. Amren. We were planning a trip to the one place on the planet I did not want to go, a continent full of violent humans. If they caught us, they'd either kill us or do as Barry had and use us for experimentation. Okay, I didn't know that for certain, but it was highly likely. Sitting in the middle of the living room, Mirren and Venali allowed me to experiment on them. I stood at their backs while they sat, focused on my magic, and tried to channel it into Mirren's aura, to make him invisible. I'd made Venali invisible several times, but I wasn't certain it would work on Mirren. My magic swirled within his aura, his body began to fade, and then the darkness of his unseelie power shoved my magic out, knocking Venali and I away from him. I released my magic and snorted as I laughed. Venali sat back up and shook his head. "Well, that was different." Mirren sighed and hung his head. "I'm sorry, I come pre-programmed to reject Seelie powers." I patted his shoulder. "My feelings aren't hurt." He looked around and scowled. "Where's Elara?" "She's with Daniel," I said, and fought against my urge to snarl at him. Mirren and Elara were connected in a different way than the rest of us. I couldn't figure out how it was different or why, but it bothered me. It bothered Kydris as well, but we hadn't spoken to the others to ask if they felt the same. I knew she loved us all equally, but there was a difference when they were together, and it was obvious. "Amren?" Mirren asked. I looked up, realizing I had spaced out again. "Sorry." Venali gave me a knowing look while Mirren scowled. Daniel and her were connected differently as well, but not in a way that bothered me. I couldn't explain it even to myself, so I kept my feelings inside. I knew that